This morning, sun kissed my face. Grab my coffee, life's a fast-paced race. I know. I put on my shoes, but no time to waste. Headed out the door, no stress, no stress. I'm feeling good now, but my groove is late. A brand new day, just let's begin. Easy Monday motivation. Time to slow it down. We keep moving to the sound. Easy Monday motivation. Live in the rhythm. It's deep in my soul. Fantastic energy got me in control. Oh, hear the beat drop. You know we won't stop. Trust the process. Climb me to the top, the top, the top, the top. In the air, so I need some more. Each step forward, easy Monday motivation. Who knows what to do? Feels good. No time to slow it down. We keep moving to the town. Easy Monday motivation. Let's break it down. Turn life around. With every step we take, we touch new ground. Positive, my body, that's all. One drawn, right, feel the vibe, line. Easy Monday motivation. We are so good, it feels good. No time to slow it down. We keep moving to the sound. Easy Monday motivation.
Hello, and welcome to Easy Monday Motivation. It is your host, E, the AOC of Scotch with E, along with the crews that make it do what it do. My man CT and Johnny My Liege. How y'all be? How y'all doing today?
What's going on, brothers? I'm doing great.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
My earpiece. I was making sure I was okay.
Yeah,
We can hear
we're on. We're live. Oh wow, look at that.
yes, we are. We are actually live, and it's been a while. We have been live now consecutive for a couple weeks. I think this has been the longest stretch in a while since we've been live. So this has been wonderful to get right in at it with the people. So we missed this and miss you guys. So of course, if you're tuning in right now while we're live, you know we want to see you in the chats. Throw that love out there. It is, as always, wonderful because we're in the bar season. I kicked that off, and we're almost at the end of September. And we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. If you guys have seen, we are in our wellness conversations. Johnny My Liege has brought the wonderful subject matter in for us to touch on every topic. But before we jump all the way into those things, we do want to come around and do our normal check-in and see how things have been since the last time we've seen each other. So I'm going to check with you first today, CT. How have you been, man? What's going on? What's new with you?
I've been great, E. Thank you so much. It's been quite a week.
Is that an English accent?
Was in California. It was just so lovely to be in the uttermost parts of the United States. It was fascinating. The travel wasn't too bad, although I did have a bit of what's it called? Jet lag. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was just long. But I had some amazing conversations. I actually will be heading to Miami later this week. Hey, family, it's good to see you, mother. Good to see you. Mary Douglas, I believe you say. It was so good to see her in the chat. So good to see you. And I think this week has been it's only Monday, so it's not been much of this week, but it's been great, already. And I'm looking forward to this conversation. And I'm not sure where it's gonna go, but I figure since we're here, we might as well do what we do the way we do it, just to ensure that everybody's gonna be okay. So what's wrong, E? What's wrong? What's wrong?
I don't like this.
What's wrong?
Well, nothing at all. Thank you. I'm very happy that you've had a good week and that you have been traveling as much as you have. I see you've picked up an accent. Leave
Like
it.
But then you say you went to California.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't know where you got it from, but leave it wherever you got it. If you
what talking about, you know what I'm saying?
If you ended up in lost luggage, that wasn't yours. I just want you to know you claimed the wrong baggage. No, I do like the across the pond talk. So you can do that whenever you choose to. Just keep giving Johnny and Cam the ick whenever you do it.
Yeah, Cam is saying this is horrible.
Cam is like, oh my Georgia. Okay, Johnny,
you do a good job, but I just don't like it.
It's okay. I mean, because it's not as bad as when I be doing my accents and interpretation behind the scenes.
I thought we were an equal opportunity pod.
Of what? Being harassed? Yes, we are. You can equally be harassed for doing stuff. Yes, you can.
That's very true on this pod. That is very true.
Yes.
Bringing the joy.
You know it. Johnny, my liege, how do you do? How you be?
I'm good. E, I've been waiting to tell you that I finally went to the movies. It's been so long since I've been to the movies to see a film. So I took my daughter and her friend to go see Beetlejuice. I just said, listen, anytime you guys want to go to the movies, no, you can always ask me. I'm always the parent that will say yes. So please ask me. She was like, okay, like settle down. It's not that serious. But yeah, Beetlejuice.
All right. Did you enjoy Beetlejuice?
I did enjoy it, but it was good and bad.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm with you on that. I seen it. Yeah, and I'm like, I like the fact that you made the movie because it's a story that I would have liked to see finished, but the way you finished the movie and some of the elements of it didn't really add up. So
yeah, I felt like the parts that I liked wasn't continued, and then it's like it's kind of jumping around, and Winona Ryder jumping around whining. I'm like, what is happening here? But at the same time, I enjoyed it. So I'm glad you feel me. No,
I mean, and they kind of left it open, like they could do another one, I guess, if they really wanted to. But at the same time, it's like, would you really want to?
I know. Would you really want to? Like, and then I'm such a Michael Keaton fan that it's like when I see his name, I watch it, but it's like, okay, so I don't know what was happening. But yeah, so I've been waiting to tell you, like, I got to tell you, I finally went to the movies.
Okay.
Yeah, but life is good. Life is good.
Nice.
And I have my nightstand pulled up against my door just so that I don't have a visitor that comes busting through.
My guy.
Who'd that be?
Just a little fellow by the name of Ace. Because I didn't know last week, y'all. Terry said he sat on the steps the entire time we were recording, or we were live, and was blocking him from coming upstairs and busting down the door. I had we're just chatting away, having a good time, and Terry's down there like police
down there playing offensive line, like
yes.
Throw the ball, like, go get it, Ace. Go get it. Like, oh my God, I'm getting tired. My arm's tired. That's exactly
what it was. He's like, I ain't playing today. Put something in front of that door. I can't be sitting on the step the whole time. Okay.
That is love.
Ace down there hearing your voice, like, that's mom. That's mom. That's mom. That's mom. That's mom. That's mom.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my gosh! Well, shout out to Ace, for all the puppy power that he had. Puppy power to Ace. Oh my gosh! So my check-in, I've been good. Fish tank. I literally just cleaned the fish tank today. It's looking really nice and crystal. Lemmy is doing pretty good. Got a lot of sprouts doing this thing. Work has been good. Scotchley is like bubbling up. So I got a lot of little things popping off with that. So I'm excited about that. I got a private dinner this Friday that I do for a couple, and then we got a birthday party, like I said, that I know is coming up. I met with my bartenders today. So it feels good to have people on retainer. I can be like, hey, look, you need something? You need somebody to serve? I got bartenders that will come and deliver and take care of stuff. So it feels pretty good to start solidifying some of those things, even though it's not 100% of my focus. So It's been really cool. It's been really fun.
I love that. Love to hear that.
Now that I know that you hire, experts in certain fields, I didn't see.
I think she meant Michael Keaton. Typing fast, trying to catch up.
I don't know if you remember or not, but I shared with you that I was in a chopped competition, and we won. And so I've been able to prove my skills in the competitive landscape. I would love to join Team Scotch with E if there's room. I make drinks. I'll make any kind of food from any basket. Just let me know, and I'm there for you.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. So who was your partner when you did chop?
Say it again.
Who was your partner when you did the chop?
His name is Luis Pesante.
All right. So is it a package deal? Because is it 100% you, or was it the combination?
I know, because he looked like he was pulling stuff out of his refrigerator and some marinades and stuff. CT, I don't know if you had anything to do with that.
I'm just trying to make sure it's even here, because I know.
Let's level set here, people.
Okay.
It's fun. So the actual competition itself required that there be two of us, but since I know he's not watching, I'm going to go ahead and represent both of us by saying it was me, that really brought the creativity to the conversation at his home. So you're right. He did things in his home.
Stop by his office tomorrow.
Well, that's not necessary. It's not necessary. But I will speak for us that together we were fantastic. But in case he's not available, because it could be a package deal, but it's not necessary, especially if it's money. We're not splitting.
Yeah. And I definitely appreciate the interest. We can talk more about that said interest, but I'll just go ahead and let you know from the Scotch with E perspective. Yeah. Whenever we team together, we win together as a team. We don't throw our teammates away.
Wow.
So just know that right there would be a demerit from the perspective of anybody looking to work with you as a teammate, because you would probably take credit. Yeah, you would take credit for that. So, we're gonna have to pass on that. But with that, yes, I agree, man. I agree. I agree. I had to fire. I had to tell him no. Had to tell him no on real time. No, we won't take the selfish chef.
I think we should opine over that. I think we should opine over it.
I love that phrase. Let's take that offline. That means that we ain't gonna get into it right now.
Yeah, I know better than to mess with Queen Mel. We're gonna move on. So from one queen to moving on to the queen of the scene, Johnny, my liege, I will go ahead and let you lead into today's conversational topics. What you got for us?
Well, today is all about physical and mental wellness. The trainer / facilitator in me was thinking we need to separate these conversations, and we first need to talk about physical. I like to put things into categories, and the more I got to thinking about it and talking about it and all this and that, I was like, it's all in one conversation, right? So we don't have to draw that line between physical and mental, because if your physical is right, oftentimes it plays a part in your mental and vice versa. So we're going to continue to have this conversation. I can't wait to dive into it with y'all. But let me read off some facts before we get into it, because here goes the teacher in me. I have to share a little bit of facts. So first of all, 8 out of 10 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, right? It's not a death sentence, but 8 out of 10. So 80% of men, right? That's a lot. Over 60 million women in the US have some form of heart disease, which is crazy. And we're just now starting to find out that women have different symptoms than what men have. So that's a whole nother topic right there. And in most cases, it can be avoided by better lifestyle choices such as smoking, your diet, all of that stuff. 1.28 billion adults aged between 30 and 79 years old have hypertension. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. Billion? Okay. Hypertension. 46% of adults with hypertension are unaware that they even have the condition, which that I didn't know. That's new information to me. So I just share those, not to like start off on this bad note, but like just to bring awareness to it, right? Like it's the truth. It's a real conversation. We have to start normalizing this conversation around physical and mental wellness, which I think we've done a pretty decent job at in the recent years, but it's still so much to talk about. And I know for me, when it comes to my physical health, and just like I've always struggled, it's always been a thing for me, my weight and body image ever since I was a little girl. Like I remember adults calling me, when I told my parents this, they got real pissed because they didn't know this. But I remember adults when I was little calling me fat. Kids used to say those things to me when I was younger and all of that. And so that just kind of stayed with me, right? And so I think I shared before, like when I turned 30, I made a decision that I was going to start taking care of myself. Just had my last daughter and was like, something has to give. So I started running. Once I started running, I joined Weight Watchers because it helped me, like it taught me how to eat well. And then from there, I started practicing yoga, which gave me a different perspective on mental health and physical wellness. And I thought it helped with some of the stuff that I was dealing with, right? And then COVID hit, put on a couple pounds, and all of the stuff that I thought I was healed from started showing up again. So like struggling with guilt around what I was eating, shame around what I was eating, trying to beat other people to it when they see me or something, maybe mentioning that I put on a few pounds or whatever it is, just so they wouldn't say it first. And probably nobody was even thinking about it, right? Or no, it didn't even cross anyone's mind. And so all of the things that I thought that I kind of gotten over started rearing this ugly head again. So I'm like, man, this conversation we're having today, I feel like is right on time. And it's just a reminder that it's a constant journey. It's something that always just kind of shows up. And I think it needs to be a constant journey, because as you age, things change, your body changes, your life situations change. And so I think it has to be a constant journey. And so I just want to hear from the both of you on this topic, just to share a little bit about your journeys and what your thoughts are just around that mindset about taking care of yourself and some of the challenges or issues or whatever that you may face. I want to come to you first.
This is a great topic and a great subject. I'm an agent of chaos, so I have been destroying my temple daily by putting things in it that should not go into it, such as libations. I'm just playing. No, guys, no, seriously, no, I do take it serious. Yeah, I take what I eat and drink very serious. Growing up, I was ridiculed. I've always been bigger than most people. Like I've always had even when I was little, I had a big chest, right? I've always been a bigger person, and I, you develop a complex. You definitely see yourself different. You definitely feel different. I've never been able to shop at regular stores and just get stuff. Like, you always got to do extra because I got bigger feet than most people, and I'm a little wider in the shirt. So, like, when you wanted to go Easter shopping and get a suit, like I can't go to the same place that my brothers and friends and everybody could go. I couldn't get the same cool options that everybody had because my stuff was bigger. The big and tall section wasn't cool. Growing up, it was almost a mark of something's wrong with you because you got to go shop in the special section. Mm-hmm. And as the generations have progressed and body positivity messages have kind of kicked in, there's a lot less scrutiny on how people view themselves versus the way I grew up. We got made fun of. You know what I'm saying? People, if you was fat, and excuse me to all the fat people in the world, because I'm fat too. I feel like I'm fat. I may not really be fat anymore, but I don't know. But to all the fat people in the world, like when somebody calls you fat, like it's the most offensive thing that you can hear. Yeah, it's a curse word. And you're like, I can't believe you're calling me fat. But at the same time, I'm fat. Like I look like it. I represent it. So like there was this complexity in me that was like accepting of it, because it had been a moniker that I had been living with, to the points where like, my own father would, degrade us and call us names, that you'd be like, there's no way that I could walk out in the world with my head held high when the people that I'm living with make fun of me, So
Right.
there was a lot of confidence that I had to build in myself to want to work out. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, my desire to be better and never allow people to say things about me was stronger than my laziness and willingness to just accept things.
Yeah.
I never would just allow for somebody to have this one up on me or whatever, especially if it's a choice. Now, I was a kid and people was feeding me and I really wasn't paying attention to it. As I got older and I was, younger, playing football and stuff, of course, I started working out, my body started coming together, all of these things. And now I didn't have that problem. I was just Big E, but it wasn't, but the mindset of the fat kid never, progressed. He never healed. He never grew into who he needed to be so that he would be sustainable, So I went through a lot of struggles in my, younger years, in my teenage years and early 20s. And then, I got married in my early 20s. And then, you put on marriage weight and father weight. And there's a lot of stuff you go through in marriage and life as you go older and trying to develop a career and all of those things. It's like physical health and in eating healthy wasn't the priority. It was more like, dude, you got a lot of responsibilities. So I still wasn't taking care of myself the way that I should. So it wasn't really until one day I made it as heavy as I ever was. You know what I mean? And I think I told this story at some point. I was like 360, 370 pounds. Like that's the heaviest I ever was. I was 315 playing football, but I was a monster. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm all thick, but this 370 of just not taking care of yourself. I mean, and I think we got an image or whatever we'll show later, but it's like I was uncomfortable in everything that I did. Just everything was uncomfortable. And then I went to the doctor and the doctor was like, dude, you got high blood pressure. You got to take these pills. I was like, what? Yeah, you got to take these pills. I bet you I don't. So I started researching. I was like, what helps with blood pressure? Exercise, eating right, drinking water. Eric turned around and I did not need those blood pressure pills within 3 months. And I dropped over 100 pounds. I've been on this journey now for the last 3 years where it's more of a bulk thing. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a me trying to develop the body that I see myself having, which it takes years through bodybuilding to convert your body to a bodybuilder's body. So it's like, I'm working on this thing. I have a real goal now. And I don't struggle with the way I eat. I don't struggle with the way that I look. You know what I'm saying? I feel way more confident. I feel way more. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm way more cockier now than I was ever before in life because I I look at the old me and be like,
it's like, please, yeah,
face that dude ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Like. But it took for me to go through all those things to build that confidence and to struggle so that I could be on this path and then inspire people to actually do it with me. Because a lot of people that know my journey, they do it with me. Like, oh, yeah, I went and worked out. I went, oh, man, that's what's up. Let's keep going. So,
and I love how you talked about, too, that you have another goal in mind, because that was one of the tips. That's the word I was looking for. I couldn't think of it. That was one of the tips I got when I started to like really focus on my health and started running. They said, like, don't focus on losing weight for running. You know what I mean? Like, because you won't be really motivated. But if you focus on your different goals, so sign up for that race, sign up for that thing, whatever. And then that's your goal, to do the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, whatever. Then let that be your goal. Because if you focus on that, is you can easily get distracted. So I thought that was interesting that you brought that up too.
Oh yeah. Because like it is a consecutive thing, right? It's like if you only focus on what you eat, then you fail in the other areas, right? Because it's a discipline of eating the right things, making the right choices, but not to the point to where you can't enjoy anything. It's doing it to the point to where the percentages of great choices is so much higher that when you choose to be like, oh, I'm eat a pizza, that pizza don't do nothing. It literally is a drop in the bucket. Boom, because you're already on that path. You're already living it and doing it. So like when people be like, oh man, what diet are you on? I'm like, diet. That sounds like something that you're killing.
Yeah.
Or changing the color of, right? Because that's what you would say is like, I want it to die, or I'm dying it. I'm changing the color. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Nah, I'm not on the diet. I'm on a lifestyle thing. I eat whatever I want, however I want, whenever I want, but I make sure that I work out. I make sure that I drink plenty of water. I make sure that I have a balanced meal. You know what I'm saying? For most of the day. So yeah, it's really being conscious. And I think that's been really what's gotten me where I am today,
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for sharing all that too. I have some more comments too. CT, I
all
want
right,
to hear
cool,
from you.
But we ain't showing pictures yet, right? Because that's on you, because you tell us, because Eric.
Oh no, are you ready to?
Nah, I don't know how it's supposed to work. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it unless
you.
It's up to
you how you want to do it. It's your pictures. If you want to show it, then yeah, let's do it.
Okay, fine. That way CT can go after me and show his pictures, because he got some really good pictures.
Okay.
I was looking at his pictures. I'm really mad. So as you can, like in my images, you can clearly see the differences in my face. And even in the season, as we started off in Easy Monday Motivation, you can clearly see when I start losing weight, I lose it in my face.
Yeah.
And if you go back to the one, keep going go back. The next one. There was another one. That one. That was as heavy as I was ever in my life.
Okay.
The picture on the left.
It almost doesn't look like you.
I know. And then within 1 year, I went from the picture on the left to the picture on the right.
Wow. Okay, E, I have to ask you, while these pictures are up, like now that maybe it doesn't take for you to look back on it. Maybe you just know this, but can you, how was your mental health? That's the question I wanted to ask. How was your mental health when you were at your heaviest? Do you see the connection between your mental health at the times where you were heavier as opposed to when you were smaller, or what? Like,
oh yeah,
when you do something? Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, number one, the discipline that it takes to go from the one to the other was a big driver for helping me in all of my mental issues, right? Like I had to be so confident and careful with myself, to believe in myself, to push myself, to give myself grace for those days I didn't feel like working out, for those days I didn't stick to the diet. You know what I mean? Like for when I didn't stick to the meal plan, when I wasn't as powerful those days to push through the extra set. Like there was all of those times that I could have just easily quit and walked away and just never thought about it again and just lived with it. But I thought about the example that I was setting for my kids.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the man that I was choosing to be, to the woman that I was choosing to be with. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want no woman to have to change my diaper. You know what I'm saying? And all of this, like, I don't want this. I need to do better. So it became it was a mental battle. It was me having to defeat me to go, hey, fat boy, put it down. Put it down, fat boy. No, you do not. You don't need that, fat boy. Put it down. And then after a while, it went from like, it's okay, fat boy. You can forgive yourself. It's okay. It's okay, fat boy. Oh, look at you. You ain't a fat boy no more. Oh, look at you. You're not big E no more. You're skinny E. And then it was like, oh, you're gorgeous E. You're gorgeous. I can see your mind. I can see that you're way more focused. I can see that you're happier and healthier in your mindset, the way that you approach things. You're not as pessimistic. You're not as cynical, because you don't think so little of yourself anymore. You start to see value in yourself. So that value is projected outwards. And then what happened? Jobs and women and everything start opening up, because I wasn't the E who didn't like himself anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. When that self-confidence rises, like everything else begins to fall into place. You'll start noticing a change around you too, because of what you're projecting out into the world. I love that.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
CT.
Man, that's really, like Mel said, those are powerful picks, because there is a story behind every picture. And what we don't always get to understand is the the picture itself. If we didn't know you, we could make it up. But I think the power of you being able to share the picture and now the story that goes with it informs us about who you are and your resilience and how you've had to maneuver through some hard things in your life. So mine wasn't a weight thing when I was younger. I appreciated the comment earlier about childhood traumas and the triggers that exist, right? And the kind of house you grew up in. And for me, I was an athlete. So much of my experience wasn't about me being big. It was about me being lean. Well, okay, let's just go with my trauma. Technically speaking, I have been short most of my life. There was a short season where I was 5'9". I think we discussed this either last week or something to that effect. I was 5'9". I gave the extra height to my sons because I didn't need it once I had already had kids, right? So let's just make sure that we're clear. That's
Okay.
what happened. I told
Okay.
God I didn't need it. God gave it to our sons. That's the story. I'm sticking to it. But
Cool.
before that, I was 5'6". And so for me, it was not a weight issue. Mine was I wasn't the tall, dark, and handsome guy. I was the short one. And when I was in middle school, I got picked on a lot by all the bigger kids. And I
Ooh.
remember one time we were at a church camp, and I'm silly sometimes.
Really? We would have
And
never guessed.
I
We
know,
would have
right?
never. Yeah.
I know, right?
Interesting.
It's just I need to go to counseling for
Sorry.
that.
Sorry to interrupt. It
Sometimes,
just surprised
sometimes.
me.
And it was a time where I did not know how to swim. I was at a church camp, and my mother had bought me a brand new sweater. It was this nice little black and color sweater, and had my good slacks on and my dress shoes on, and we had just gone to a service, and this group of about 5 or 6 older high school boys decided it would be funny to pick me up and carry me to the pool and throw me in the pool. Yes,
Oh
Christopher
no!
got bullied when he was younger,
Give me their
and
names. I want
and
them.
I wish I remember their names and their faces, but that's okay. We are not um touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. So Jesus will repay. So in the end, all of their lives are miserable because of what they did to me. But I digress. It's just and it was those moments though that was like, I'm never going to get picked on again. And so
Oh
because
yeah.
of those experiences, I was like, I lifted weights, I was fast, I
Hmm.
was an all around athlete. So my issue was never from a weight perspective, and because we were always in season, you could eat what you wanted to,
Yeah.
and you always did, and you just run it off or you work it off. Now, as you mentioned, when you grow up, life's a little bit different, and
It's different.
because my wife and I were pregnant. Understand how I said it that way? Because my wife and I were pregnant,
Yes.
there were moments where as she was taking on weight to carry the children because of the loving husband that I am. Come on,
Mhm.
testify it here. Because I want to support her in all of the journey, there was an opportunity for weight to be put on. Not because no, it was because I was eating with her all the stuff that she ate. And she was
Ain't no
eating
way around it. Ain't no way around it.
it just didn't work out that way. But still, I found that I was, I wasn't super heavy, right? It wasn't that bad. And then we had some traumas happen in our lives. And if you pull up some pictures for me, so some traumas happened in our lives. And when those traumas happened in our lives, Christopher became a little bit of a depressed guy. Go to the second one, and I'm gonna come back to this one. So what you see is in 2013, that was as heavy as I had ever been in
Mhm.
my entire life. And that guy was sad. That guy was not connected. We had moved back from Atlanta, Georgia, and I was mad depressed because I'd missed my people. I'd missed Atlanta, Georgia. I did not want to be in Columbus, Ohio, and so I didn't work out. I ate what I could eat, and then go to the next picture, and then I found hip hop fitness. And
Mhm.
when I found hip hop fitness, I was the uh, smallest weight that I had been, since I was in high school. So in the early part of 2014, I was in my high school playing weight. Let me be real clear. That is not a good look in my 40s. Like, I think that was not the best look for me. Somebody was like, bro, you look like you're sick. I was like 162 pounds. I was
Wow.
lean, but I was working out, 3 or 4 times a day. I maybe eat a meal, maybe a protein shake. So I was super thin. I was working out all the time. And then lifed again. And look what happened. The end of 2014, that's December of 2014, I jumped up again. That's my Suge Knight look. And I started eating again, and I lost my energy, and I lost my passion, I lost my way again. And as confident as I can come across at times, when sometimes life happens, like my safe place is food. Like the
Okay.
place that I go to soothe is food. And go back to the other picture again. But I found myself again. I started working out again. And I didn't get all the way to 160, but I was living in like 175 or so. And in 2015, turned the corner in terms of what I thought about, how I thought about myself, the things that I was doing. And the blessing of the moment, you can pull them off now, is that I've maintained the same weight for 7, 8, 9 years. Like, I've been about the same. And sometimes I work out, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I
Okay.
feel like a nut, sometimes I don't. And the blessing for me is that I do have, and through all of that journey, I learned more about me. And I learned that in all of it, I have the ability to choose. And my ability to choose can
Yeah.
determine what I do. Like you said, eat. I can eat it or not. And if I choose to eat it, don't be mad, because it was a choice that I made. And if I want to get rid of it, there's a move item. She's right? That's what we do. That's what we do in the Thompson house. Like, we foodies, but how we soothe is the ability to find some really, really good food, right? And so I think it is healthy for us to be having this conversation, because there is a correlation in my mind. Johnny, thanks for not separating them, between what is happening physically and it's tied to what may be happening mentally.
Yeah.
And if your mental is wrong, then if you don't have good coping mechanisms, if you don't have therapy, if you don't have a good team around you, your physical can be impacted. And I'll finish with this. As I continue to age, when you get up out the bed in the morning,
Come on.
it didn't used to feel like that. Like, if you
No.
sleep wrong on the pillow,
Mhm.
if you're tilted in the wrong way, or you happen to
Come on.
work out the day before and you
Come
get
on.
up, you move a little bit slower than you used to, and that's okay. And you, you've got to do things that make sure that you're stretching, and that you're drinking water and doing the things, so as your physical body begins to respond the way it's supposed to as you age, your mental must become stronger. So when I was
Mhm.
younger, it was okay for my physical to be real strong. I don't need to lift a whole bunch of weights right now.
Yes.
But my mind needs to be strong for the things I need to go through. So,
That was good. I think Terry just said that the other day, like, I don't have to be in that shape
mhm,
anymore. I just have to be, healthy is the goal.
mhm,
But we're talking about this mental thing, and what gets me for in my journey of it is I feel like I'm projecting more onto my kids, and that is what hurts me the most, right?
mm,
So I
mhm,
have all these issues, if like I said before, I've learned how to eat. So I'm careful with what I put into my body. But there are times, we have pizza. Y'all know I love a good cocktail. We all know that about me. I think all of us do. And but then, like, so I'm like, okay, if I'm a little puffy here and there, that's all right. It's from all those martinis I've been drinking, right? But then it's like the guilt sets in, and whatever. And then I start projecting onto my kids. I'm like, well, watch this and watch that. And I'm like, oh man, that's the part that really scares me, or hurts me, I should say, because I don't want to do that to them. But yet I am responsible. I am the mother here, and I'm responsible for what we eat, how we eat, all of those things. And I know Terry helps me for sure, but like, just as the mom, I'm the one that's most responsible. And so that's what I'm dealing with right now, trying to make sure that I am balancing all of that out. Like I'm still being healthy without making everybody else feel bad. And that I stop feeling guilty
Johnny,
and I'm active and all of that stuff, but still, yeah. What's
Johnny,
that?
I don't know why it hit me like this, but you have a nickname that was introduced into the show. What was the name? Was what?
I don't know.
Let's just go with the one that we all know, Fluff.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get that? Did that have anything to do with your weight? Did that have anything to do with how
No,
did
it was
that
before I was
come
even
about?
born. No, it was
Really?
before I was even born. My mom's stomach actually was growing. A cousin that was like a year or two older than me said her stomach was fluffy, and it just stuck
Uh,
ever since then. Yeah,
Fluffy
maybe he
like
did this
Fluffy.
to
I'll
me.
tell you what. That's good.
Maybe he did this to me,
Who did what?
my cousin, by giving me that nickname. Maybe it's just living out loud. I
We
don't
will.
like this.
We will.
Was your mom wearing scarlet when he was given that name?
I don't know what you're talking about. I do not know. So we're just going to skip right over that.
I am. I'm going to behave. So Johnny, I think one of the things that you called out definitely that is important is like when we struggle with the mental piece, right?
Yeah.
And the connection to what we feel about ourselves becomes an outward thing, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think like in my example, it's like when I started to feel better about my outward appearance, it started to help me align my inner appearance to what I thought of myself. And then when I started to get that outer or external validation from people saying, oh, I can see this, or I noticed this about you, then that really just reaffirmed some of the things that I had been lacking in myself from other people. So do you think, and I'm asking both of you this question ultimately, do you think that our mental and physical wellness also is impacted by those people we choose to let into our circles and how they support us? And if so, who do you have in your circle that is supporting your mental and physical wellness?
I think it was, but so think of it like when you were telling the story of even growing up, when they called you fat, you internalize that. Or if somebody sees you and now you gorgeous, you internalize that. So there is some outward impact of the people who are around you. I think the trick is to the point, like who's in your circle. It's who have you given permission to influence how you receive their words in the world that you live in the world that you've created for yourself. Right. And if you give people permission, that's why I think social media is so dangerous, is that you've given people who don't even know you, don't have context for you, permission to speak into you. And that's a part of the issue. Right.
Yeah.
And so you got to have people who can, if you think about it from a marriage perspective, the 5 love languages, right, is something that comes to my mind when you think about that circle, like Melanie. And if mine are words of affirmation, if she's meeting that need and being able to share with me and tell me that I'm an amazing chocolate drop kind of thing, right? That's affirming. And that affirming thing gives me the idea that I can keep moving or I keep going. If I have a hard day, that encouraging word that she may give me, or my daughter saying something, or one of my sons texting me at some point in time, the people who I've placed in my circle, every time I speak, literally, it's almost a ritual, but literally every time I present or I speak, I send a text message to the crew and I'm like, look, lift your pops up. And these jokers, I said, just pray for me. I'm about to talk to this group, da, da, da. And they will send back hearts and encouraging words. Pops, you got it. My man Dietrich is a poet, and you know it. I mean, he sends me back some of the most spectacular, like Don King before a fight, like encouragement, like I'm the world kind of thing. And so I do think that whoever you have in your circle can influence and can inspire you to be and to do things that you already have inside of you to do, whether it's to work out, whether it's to speak, whether it is not to eat, like having those people really
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I have an amazing I have an amazing circle, amazing support system that's always pouring into me. Whether it's a physical appearance, maybe it's like you said, something big coming up at work. I have things happening. My kids are like, "Mom, I don't even know what you do, but you do a lot," and like that's what's up. Like I see you do a podcast. I know you're traveling. I don't know exactly what you're doing, but I think it's super dope, and like that's what I want to do. So yeah, I think it has a big influence on how you show up and your physical and mental health. Um, and I think where I am right now is like, yeah, you have an amazing circle, but it's still you got to do the work inside of you,
Got
Yeah.
right? Because it can
Yeah.
come from the outside all it wants to, but if you can't see it, if you ain't feeling it or whatever it is, like you got to do that work yourself for sure.
So can I be honest with y'all?
Yeah.
I think me personally, I think my physical wellness is all out of conceit right now. Like, I'm just being honest. Like right now for me, it's really all out of conceit. It is just for me to be like, oh my God, you are so gorgeous. Let's see how much more gorgeous you can be.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
ooh, yeah. Your back is coming in there. Ooh, your chest is popping. Look at them arms. Like, I'm doing that to me like every day. Like when I get up and go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, you like nobody, like if you actually see my ritual, if somebody recorded that, they'd be like, dude, you're straight from a movie. It's like literally 5 o'clock. I wake up and then I go turn the speaker on and I'm up there dancing the music and like getting myself all pumped up and I drink my creatine, walking around doing like I'm serious. I swear on everything. You ask anybody, the fish be in there. They be popping too.
Do it.
Like we be in there. I might one day, and then I make my protein shake and I make all of my stuff, set it all out, and be like, and then I walk out and hit the gym. Come back in, be like, oh yeah, and then turn the music right back on. Before I go to work, drinking my protein, I be pumped. And then I go and I walk into the building and I got to sit down on my desk. And if you ever see me, I'm still sweating. I'm still sweating from the workout. And I'm at my desk with my collar on, like
you still pumped up.
Still pumped up. And they're like, why are you sweating? I'm like, I don't know.
But I don't think anything is wrong with that because I feel like motivation comes from different places at different times.
Yes.
Like when you first started, it was kind of like, both of you talked about like, okay, no one's going to talk about me or I'm not going to be on blood pressure medicine. Now it's just like, I'm looking good and I'm about to look even better.
I got a zaddy.
It different times. It just depends on who you are.
I got a zaddy complex. I'm like, I'm totally about to be a straight up zaddy out here. Let's go. I'm gonna rip a zaddy. Like zaddy gonna come out of me. I'm like, yes, I transformed into a zaddy. As soon as I get 45, I'm like, oh, zaddy status. I got the hoochie daddy shirts already. CT, I'm ready.
Don't do it. No, like I was okay with you trying to have zaddy status, but
I'm just playing.
Don't do it.
I love it. Oh my gosh, that is so hilarious. PT, were you about to say something?
No, I think you're right, babe. You're right. You are right. Right, 100%. Like, no, I think there's something really funny and fun and adventurous about being able to like have fun with it. Like Mel and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit. Like Mel and I used to have these moments like, okay. Like when you talk about the actors and actresses, like who is sexy, right? And who might think you are sexy, right? And then you look at the mirror like, well, maybe not today. Like, and so it's just like, not today. But today. There is, like, as you continue to get older, you want to be attractive. You want to feel good about yourself. You want to look, whether it's your spouse. Yep. I still want to be sexy. I still want to be the chocolate drop. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I can't be sexy because then now she's going to be fighting in these streets and we can't have her fighting in these streets kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Man, please chime in. Please chime in.
But it's the idea that like sometimes you've got to be able to motivate each other. And sometimes it's like, oh, okay. I see that. Okay, you see. Oh, okay. I need to get back up on my game.
I need to get back on it.
Mel doing her thing right now, people. So I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna talk about how good you look up in this show, but and so it matters. Like that stuff matters. And it can't be that I'm all sloppy and she not. You know what I'm saying? She looking good, and I'm out here like, nah, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't look crazy, looking uneven. You know what I'm saying? We out together. She's already taller than me. Fine. She's already taller than me. I can't now. We look.
Okay.
My baby's other than what I need to. Like I almost turned the show into a private. I'm your private.
Hey, CT.
Money.
CT.
Well, yes, sorry about that.
You may not be able to be taller than her, but you can always be wider than her if you wanted to.
I would like to be wiser, not wiser.
Oh gosh, that's so funny. All right, so I know we've been putting it all together, but I do want to talk a little bit just specifically about mental health, especially when I got two Black men at the microphone. I do not want to miss this opportunity. So over the last, and you two know this, like over the last year, mental health has been a huge conversation in our house. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, she gave me permission to talk about it. She's like, Mom, I'm not going to go on the podcast, but you can talk about it. I was like, okay. So over the past year, she's been dealing with her own mental challenges, right? So she went through a really big depression. Like even when you were here for her birthday, for when Scotch with E made this appearance, it was like everything just to try to get her to smile and enjoy it and all of that. Like she was just so depressed. It was episodes of suicide ideation. We find ourselves in the hospital and all of that stuff, right? And it was so hard for us because we had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
Like, because what, first of all, it's your baby. And so you just like, you want to fix it and just make it right. But it's different than going to the doctor for a physical illness where you can go, they can diagnose it, you can get medicine, boom, there it is. It was a whole process. And it was so hard on us just as parents, but it's really hard too, because we're trying to find the right care, trying to find the proper care. I mean, I had conversations with therapists that like scared the crap out of me. It was like, oh no, I don't take patients like that and I can't help you. You need to go see someone else and she needs to be admitted, like things like that. And I'm like, okay, so we had to rely on our faith as much as possible and then just let it just guide us. As we were Googling, asking doctors, we went from one doctor to the next. And we're so blessed that we have insurance and we were able to find a great program through Children's Hospital and all that. And she's doing really, really well now. She's on medication. We have that stabilized and things are going really, really great now. But it made me think about like all the folks who don't have proper insurance, or don't have insurance, I should say, who don't have the conversations around mental health, where they don't even, maybe the kids don't even feel comfortable talking to their parents, or it's just not a thing in their household. And so it's been a really, really challenging year. I'm so glad we're kind of like seeing our way through this. But again, that's a journey too, right? Because then she'll be graduating and off to school and new challenges she's going to face and all of that. So it's been a real hot topic in our house and just trying to figure all of that out. And what does it mean to parent? Because we also were given tips on how to parent a child at this age and going through these things, which is totally different from the way that we were parented, right? So we were being coached on how to have conversations. And you all met Terry. Terry was like, excuse me, what? So I'm supposed to like, be a little softer, a little gentler, asking questions. He's like, no, ain't no questions being asked around here. We just tell them how it is. I'm like, okay, whatever. So that was a thing in itself. So I know both of you have talked about therapy and mental wellness. Like what made you feel what made you decide to either, because all of us at some point are in therapy or we've gone to it or whatever. So what made you decide to go ahead and say, okay, yes, let's do it. And then also normalizing that conversation, especially being Black men. And whoever wants to go first.
I am a proponent of getting the help that you need for whatever it is that you need. And for years, the Black community demonized psychology because we thought prayer would change everything. But I'm reminded that the text would say, faith without works is dead. You got to do something. And so we tried to pray away the anxiety that existed in the world, because it's like, I don't really have anxiety, right? And some of it you could use the text to justify it, but I believe that Jesus showed us multiple examples of his humanity while he was still God, his deity, while he was here. And so for me, therapy has been a must. Now, there were some seasons that, I was on and off, if you will, but, that time, those pictures were the catalyst for why I needed therapy, right?
Mm.
Because I found moments during that stretch where I didn't want to be here, and there wasn't somebody who was close to me that I could just like talk to, and they could understand where I was. Didn't matter who you were. And being able to have that extra voice that could ask the right questions and that could center me, along with me working out, along with me eating
Yeah.
well, along with me having a community and a circle of people that didn't have to be my therapist. And I think sometimes we think we can just use our friends for these things, but here's the deal.
There we
Um,
go.
if you went to school and you spent time to practice that thing, I want somebody. I do not change my electricity in my house. I will
Mm-mm.
electrocute
Mm-mm.
myself and probably burn my house down. There is
That's right.
somebody that learned the trade. And so, to the
That's
extent
right.
that I actually believe that if someone has invested their time, their attention, their gifts, their talents to get certifications, to get degrees in a thing that's supposed to help me, I am going to pay the money
Yeah.
to go have them help me. And you know what, Johnny? Sometimes the first one doesn't work. Sometimes the
Come on.
first one I
Thank
went
you.
to was maybe right
Yep.
for that moment or that season, and then I try another one. And
Yep.
we went through a very similar season with our daughter for a number of years, where there was some real challenges with her mentally, depression, etc. And it took a toll on our family
Mm-hmm.
and on our lives. And so being able to have an external voice that could speak in to us was critical. It was necessary. Um, and so I am an advocate 110,000%, like, that you need it, and that if you don't think you need it, then you need it. Um,
Yeah.
and I was talking to a friend. They were like, every good coach needs a coach. Every therapist has a therapist. So if the person who is doing the thing needs the thing, there must be something about the thing.
That's
So
right. That's
I'm
right.
just I am a big, huge fan of getting help in that right way.
There's a lot of things that you brought up that I think are really important that I really wanted to get out of this conversation. And there's my door being knocked, but he can't get in. Um, a lot of good things that you brought up. So I was having a conversation with a friend last week, and she is experiencing some just like some challenges and just worn out and just tired and feeling very depressed. And she's like, I'm not going to claim it. And I said, I get that. I get that because of your faith. You don't want to put the label on it. I said, but sis, you don't even have to put the label on it because I can see it, like it's oozing out of you.
Yeah.
Right. And God has placed you in a position where you can have a therapist. Call somebody. Like, you need to have a conversation with somebody who is an expert. And that's okay. That's not separate from your faith.
No.
Like, you can go to the doctor, you can go see a therapist and still be a believer and still have faith in God and all of those things and know that his word is true. And you need help, so don't separate that. Like, let your faith lead you and your discernment lead you as you're trying to find that therapist. So I'm so glad that you brought that up, because you're right. I think oftentimes we say it, and it doesn't have to be just mental illness. We'll say we'll just pray about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think oftentimes that in that prayer, what you will find is the expert that can help you fix whatever or work through whatever those issues are, whatever that might be.
If he can speak to a rock and speak through a donkey, he sure enough can speak through a therapist. Go ahead,
Yes.
E.
Yeah. E, what's your thoughts on it?
On therapy?
Yeah, just on mental wellness, period. But
I mean,
therapy
I definitely think it's definitely an important topic. It's something that growing up, nobody really cared for. We grew up from a generation where it was like, shut up, shut up. We got a whooping. Like, my therapist was a switch. Okay.
That's true.
My therapist was listen, my therapist was a weight belt that my dad used to whoop us. And I called it Goliath. And it was a really big weight belt that he released, and it would wrap around you and slap you in your back so you'd get hit from like all sides of your body.
Got you together real quick.
Yeah. Oh no, it didn't. It made me crazy. Okay. Because and if we're gonna talk about it, getting some of those versions of discipline didn't really help me or therapize me in the way that I needed to be as a kid or as a young man needing to get understanding of my decisions versus just being disciplined for my decisions, right? So I realized very early that just whooping me wasn't teaching me nothing, right? Putting me in a corner, putting me in suspension wasn't teaching me nothing. So I understood the concept of therapy pretty early. And I would go meet with my teachers and the counselors, and I would talk through my ideas and talk through the things that I was thinking to get that feedback so that I was pretty, no, mama, no.
That's some built therapy, no.
No, mama, no. but no, I mean, I would go to those people and start talking. And that was before I even knew, about therapy. It would be like, I know that it feels better when I go talk to people about the things that bother me and they listen. And when I found that there weren't people to listen that were close to me, I went further away to find them, to the point to where I didn't feel like I had people in my own household that listened to me. So I would catch the bus at I would get up, do my chores like 6-7 o'clock in the morning, be out on the west side hanging out with my friends' parents because I knew they would listen to me. And I knew that they saw the value in me that I didn't feel that other people did, right? So yeah, I at a very early age, I would already go seek out the people that I needed to check me, because even as y'all know now, there's not a lot of people that can check me. So you gotta be a very good person holistically for me to even come to you with all of me and get feedback and me to be open. So I've been really lucky and fortunate to be able to find those type of people in my life. I mean, y'all know those people in my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I really need perspective, I don't hesitate to go get the help that I need, like CT said. Yeah. Like I recognize that at a very early age, if your car breaks down, there's a mechanic. If your body breaks down, there's a doctor, right? If the plumbing's messed up, there's a plumber, right? Like there's professions that align to the needs of the people that, you should seek out and trust in. Now, did I actually always commit to therapy? Nah, not always. Like when I was married, I went through therapy, when I got divorced, I went through therapy. I made sure my kids went through therapy. I went to therapy with my kids when they went through things. And then like for me, the biggest drive for me to go to therapy was dating. After being married for 16, almost 18 years and coming out and starting to date and seeing how different the world was, oh man, I had a lot of questions, and I definitely needed a therapy to be like, what is wrong with the world? I don't get it. And yeah, I got educated really, really fast. I got therapized really, really fast. So, but no, those were some, I mean, that, me, the drivers have always been the questions, internal questions that I have that make me go seek out those answers from people or professionals.
Yeah. You saying that, describing that, just being younger and you not needing discipline, but needing someone to listen and to share ideas with, man, that describes you that makes so much sense.
It does.
It just, doesn't it? It just describes like who you are, because you're very logical. So it's like, okay, whooping me, what is that going to do? Like, well, where is that going to help? We had an issue with my youngest daughter, Alex, last year, with her just doing her work assignments like she should. And I asked my cousin, who's an educator, like, what do? I can't get this girl to do her work for anything. We tried punishment. And she says, well, punishment doesn't solve laziness. Like if that's the issue, putting her in a room, she was like, thank you. Bye. I'm glad to go there. But like, and she gave some other suggestions about making her do things that she hated, like, I don't know, cleaning, washing
Yeah.
walls, whatever the thing may be. But I thought that was such a good point. It's kind of like what you're talking about. If I did something like the discipline, okay, that's great. But like if you're talking to me and explaining to me why it was wrong, what's the better option? Now we on to something.
Yeah.
Now I can get you on that.
I mean, I can clench my butt cheeks for like these 5-6 slashes and be like, all right, cool. All right, I'm about to go do it again because you didn't tell me what I did wrong. Okay. Yeah. All you did was show me that I just need to, like, squeeze the cheeks and just hold my breath. That's all I learned. That's what. Okay, I got it over with. I'm about to go back out and play again, guys. I don't know what else to do. You didn't correct my behavior. You just whooped me.
I don't know what to say about after the squeeze the cheeks. I don't even know what to say.
I just said we got to move on from that. Like I'm surprised Melanie didn't come into
that was all PG.
It was.
And there was something called, if I had time, I'd go get it, but I don't. It's called the Board of Education. That was its name. The Board of Education was passed down from generation to generation. And it served the purpose of educating that behind. Now we have I was talking to the girl.
Too late.
Hey, we're talking about if you look up in the comments, there was belt therapy, and Eric did not say he did not respond well to belt therapy, and I was simply articulating that there was a generational tool that was passed down in our lineage that will then move to our children, referred to as the Board of Education, that did educate in very unique and authentic ways. And depending on which child it was, it did provide us a return in the investment of the education we provided it.
I get that.
And it didn't have to, it didn't take long. And there weren't many trips to the board. But yet, when we visited the board, hey, we found that there was some attention that was given and some education that happened. And as they say, the more you know, knowledge is power.
That's right. I think she was trying to say whooping, like, give me my whooping so I can go back outside. I know that's right. Like, that's how Alex is. Alex did not care about whoopings at all. Like, it did not work. She's like, okay, great. Like, what's next?
I just gotta ask just because it's up there. So you had it's called the Board of Education?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Johnny, was there ever a disciplinary tool in your house family lifetime that you recall the name of? You ain't have no name. There was no board or nothing.
No, I didn't want to take it here, but like my parents didn't whoop us.
Yeah, we knew.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we knew.
None of us. We didn't whoop us. They were more of free spirits because they got whooped.
Yeah.
So much when they were younger, they were like, "Oh, we're changing this. We're not doing that."
That's fair.
It was prophesied before she was even born. Fluff. That's what it was.
Yeah, we.
They didn't get whooped either. I have siblings. They didn't get whooped either. That's just not how my parents disciplined.
Yeah,
but my parents did do a lot of talking and a lot, like we talked a lot in our household and communicated a lot. So all it took was for them to be disappointed, and my world was over. Yeah. If they showed disappointment, I was like, that was it for me.
Yeah, well, I was the kid that they literally looked at was like, spare the rod, spoil the child. And there was no spares left. Okay. Like they used all the rods. Listen, they had so many different names for all of the tools that they used to try to discipline us. One of them was called the equalizer. Nothing was ever equal. Nothing was ever equal. We had Whistler's mother, right? And I'm thinking the whole time Whistler's mother was the name of the paddle. It actually was Art.
Oh,
interesting.
Very.
Yes. Yes. So they were naming the tools of that they used to accost us with after noted art and stuff, right? Like this is the type of stuff that we had to deal with, right? Like you didn't want to learn about the shaft. Like, that was the worst switch that they had. Somebody actually had that crafted in wood shop. So just know, like some of us did get the rod.
Yeah, my sister was saying she got a whooping before, and I did too from my granddad.
Okay,
that's
I
old
definitely
school.
remember that. Yeah, that's old school. He wasn't playing. He was not playing. Y'all, I think this was a conversation that I needed. I don't know. I just threw out a couple of ideas and just wanted to hear what y'all had to say because this is something that I needed from myself today. So I appreciated this conversation for sure.
Nah, this was great. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, with that, thank you so much. Giving it back. CT, I got to come to you. Now, what would Grandma have to say about physical and mental wellness? What do you think Grandma would have to say?
Yeah, remember season 3, she's not saying, come here, baby. She's saying, sit up in your chair and listen up. Because if you are wanting to be both physically and mentally well, she would say you must take action. The word from Grandma today is action. And Grandma would say that if you're wanting to be physically and mentally well, the action you must take is to start with the A. You have to be aware of what's happening in your brain, in your mind, aware of where your body is or is not. And you can't look up one day and say, oh, I'm now 50 pounds heavier than what I was. No, you knew you was getting there, and you have to be aware of the journey that you're on. And if you're going to take action, awareness is the first step you must take. She would say that if you're going to be aware, you have to get to the second letter, which is C. You have to commit to doing something different. Because once you've been made aware of the action that you have to take, you have to make a commitment, be dedicated to change your behavior. To do something different means you got to know. And the awareness that's there helps you get to the place where you need to. So you can take the right kind of action. Now, the T in this conversation is that once you are aware and you commit, Johnny, this is where you begin to transform. You transform your mind, you transform your body, you transform your heart, you transform all of the things that are going to help you make sure that you can commit to the action that's there, because now you know what's going on. Now, here's the trick. You can't just know what it is and then decide you want to commit to something that's going to allow you to transform. You almost want to mix this one up because it would suggest that you have to take some initiative, Johnny. But the initiative doesn't come to transform you if you're not committed. And if you're not committed in the right way, that means you were not aware of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you then have to say, okay, fine. What is keeping me from taking that initiative? Well, sometimes you've got to look yourself in the face and do overcome the story that you telling yourself about why you can or cannot do the thing that is in front of you. Because if you've decided to take initiative on the thing because you understand it will help you transform, and that transformation came from a commitment that you had because you're now aware, you have to now do the end well, and that is you've got to navigate the landscape of your kitchen, the landscape of where you go work out, the landscape of what you do to help make sure that you're meditating so that you can overcome the things that you've decided you wanted to have an initiative in. Because you believed that there was some transformation that had to happen in your life. And that transformation arrived or came because you were committed. And that commitment was in front of you because you were aware, E and Johnny, that the actions that you take can help you be both physically and mentally well. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Grandma.
All right. Thank you, Grandma. And taking action is probably one of the most vital parts of change. So I love that. I love that. And the awareness piece, I like kicking it off with awareness, right? You got to pay attention to where you're at. Be present. Take it all the way there. Like CT, I like that because like being present is almost like looking at Johnny going like, Johnny, what you got?
That was good transition. That was good.
That was good. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. Oh gosh, I saw it coming too, and that was still good. It was still good. You know, I was thinking about, I don't know, just trying to come up with something clever and impactful to end our conversation with about physical and mental wellness. But y'all, like, I just really couldn't come up with anything because it really just comes down to we just got to take care of ourselves. You know, I want to think of some cool podcast or movie I watched, a scene, whatever. Y'all, we have to take care of ourselves. And just like you were, like, we got to take action, right? We gotta go to the doctor. I made some appointments today while I had a little time. I was waiting for my car to get serviced. We we got to go to the doctor, both physical and mental. We got to take the proper vitamins and medication. We got to drink our water, which I don't do enough of. We got to exercise. We got to get moving. We just have to do the things in order to take care of ourselves so we can have longevity. Like CT, you were talking about, as we get older, you know, it's harder to shed pounds sometimes. When you get older, you turn up. This morning, I turned over in the bed like, right there in the small of my back, like I could barely move. It was so stiff. But I had to get up, do my stretches, take Ace for a walk, all of those things just to keep moving. We just have to do it. There is no other way around it. Start with those small things and watch it become a habit, and you start building up on it and building up on it. But you got to take action and start doing it now. So let's just do it, y'all. Let's just take care of ourselves.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, just do it. All right, Johnny, my liege, I got it. Just cut straight to the point. I mean, you might as well just call that the message from your AOC. Just do it. Like, I might as well just skip mine. There was more of an AOC thing this time. I don't
like,
even know.
Talking about it, just do it.
Jeez. Stealing my thunder.
You're rubbing off on me.
Apparently. So, ladies and gentlemen, your message from your AOC. When it comes to physical and mental wellness, the thing that I'm going to say is take it serious. We only got the one go, right? And sometimes I deal with, like, when I talk to my kids, like my oldest son, like, this boy don't want to work out, right? And I'm like, that's fine. But you got to live with the choice, right? And if you start making good choices earlier in life, they have way better payouts later. So if you're listening and you never thought that emotional, physical, occupational, all of the wellnesses ever mattered, if you didn't really think they did, I'm telling you today, it matters. Absolutely. Start today. Like, there's no reason to wait. Your physical and mental wellness is the most important thing that you got going for you. Like, you can't function in this world without these two components. Now, of course, we add in the spiritual, but you have to have a balance, and it starts with you loving yourself and caring for yourself. So one of my favorite songs, by an artist named J. Cole, is Love Yours. And in that song, he talks about the fact that you have to be able to say there's no life better than yours. There's no such thing as the life that you have. There's no such thing, like, you looking at all these people living this better life, but no, you have your life. You can make anything out of it. And one of the things that I know that speaks to is the satisfaction that you get from being balanced physically and mentally. Yeah. That you can love yours. So keep loving on yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Keep doing that. All right. So thank you. Every now and then I might got a gym after Johnny. But I do want to get your final thoughts, guys, before we wrap up. CT, I'm gonna come to you first and get your final thoughts. Any jewels you want to drop?
Yeah, I think I really appreciated the thoughtfulness of the dialogue that we had today, because at the end of the day, I do want to live long enough for our children to have children and to be able to run around with them and to be able to spend time with them. There was a gentleman, 92 years old. I was on the golf course several years ago, and we're at the 9th hole, and he said to me, he said, listen, he said, do everything that you can while you can, because I'm 92. I have more money than I can spend. And I've had 2 hip replacements, a knee replacement surgery. And while I can go do those things, I can't enjoy them because my physical body has broken down. And because my physical body is broken down, it makes it very difficult for my mental to feel good about where I'm at. And I'm in Rome and I'm in Italy. He was naming these places he's been. And he said, I wish I would have done those things while I was younger. So my final thought is, live. Live like every day is your first. Because tomorrow is not promised, yesterday is gone. And so just be as excited about the day that you're in and embrace every opportunity and moment you have in the day that you're in. You might just find your mental and your physical will align in a good way. So good combo,
Okay.
yo. Combo.
Thanks, CT. I loved it. That was dope. All right, Johnny Malige, come to you for the final thoughts.
Yeah, CT, what you were saying reminds me of Jennifer Lewis said the same thing, like when she got when she fell and had to have surgery and all that stuff, but she said she was able to quickly bounce back because she took care of herself while she was younger and continues to do so, right? She didn't start taking care of herself when she got injured. It was already there. So that was a good reminder. I know I was in charge, if you will, of this conversation, but this was for me. As you can see, I was sitting back and listening and taking it all in. And I just appreciated the dialogue today. Just a reminder of like how important it is to just keep moving and just do the thing, right? Take action on whatever that thing is. And so I just really appreciated this conversation today from both of y'all.
Thank you.
It was good. It was good. It's what I needed.
Yeah. So my final thoughts is, sis, who whooped you? Because I want to know.
I was thinking this.
I was thinking this. Sis, who whooped you? Sis, who whooped you?
I remember what she's talking about. And you see, my mom wants to know. My mom probably called her.
Right. Sis, who whooped you? Sis.
Years ago. Don't keep that quiet. Don't.
Yes, this fine. My final thoughts is, if they laying their hands on you, they gonna get that hand. I'm just playing. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. I ain't getting in trouble. Nope. You ain't about to get me in trouble with whoever whooped you, because they whooped you, they probably gonna whoop me too. I ain't even.
If they was bad enough to whoop Leisha,
right. Because Lisa will take off on you. She will take off on you. No, so no. All right, I'm just playing.
I don't know. When I find out, I'm gonna let y'all know.
I love it. No, my final thoughts is, again, thank you guys. Thank you both for a wonderful conversation. Thank you both for always kind of pushing the envelope, making sure that we have real, authentic conversations, that it's educational, it's informative, and it's motivational every single time. I don't think we ever have an episode that, no matter what we talk about, we learn more about each other, but then we leave better off. We leave tooled, right? We leave informed, right?
Yeah, that's right. She whooped me because I kicked her. Okay, so you're here kicking people. I think I remember what it was.
Okay. All right. So my final thoughts is, keep your hand.
The show is not over.
Not the show over. We gotta end it because she whooped me because I kicked her favorite child, and she rolled her eyes at that too. Big rolled eyes, like, and I kick her. And look, and you remember how I used to be, and I kick her again. Y'all the wildest.
Your final thoughts are, keep your hands to yourself.
Keep your hands to yourself. keep your hands to yourself. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to play that game. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, you can find us. Oh my God, it's about to go down. This is about to be the what was it? Keith Sweat, or what Mama said she was singing.
Let's not.
All right, now we can sign up. Okay, all right. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you being here. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that your listening and streaming sessions are available. We will be coming back to you next week. I think we'll be doing a pre-record, so it has been very fun to be live. Again, make sure that you go in, you like, you subscribe, you give us the 5 stars this way the algorithm can get to you. And we ask you to continue to focus on wellness as we wrap up the last episode going into next week. But until we're back, you know what you can do. You can just chill until the next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night. Peace.
Peace.